I came here to save you.
The fortress is taken.
It is over.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
You're my only hope.
We shall fight on the beaches.
There will be days when we lose faith.
We band of brothers.
But take heart. Look around. You're not in this fight alone.
I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Hello, everybody. This is Caleb with King's Advisors, and boy, have I got a really exciting topic today. Today, we're going to talk about the top 5 video games that we here at King's Advisors are most excited for. So, the very first game that I am most excited for is Skull and Bones. Almost a decade ago, we got one of the coolest Assassin's Creed games ever, Black Flag. Here, we were able to sail the West Indies seas as notorious pirate Edward Kinney. We upgraded our ship and sailed in a battle to take a crack at legendary ships and other ships of the line. It truly was an amazing game. It was so great, in fact, that only 2 Assassin's Creed games have not had a sailing component. Since then, shortly after the success of Black Flag, Ubisoft announced that they were making a pirate game that would have a focus on sea combat and have the feel of Black Flag. Now, it was originally going to be an expansion to Black Flag and be an MMO set around the time. However, the technology quickly became outdated, and the project was turned into its own game. Since then, the game has undergone many changes, starting as an MMO set in the West Indies, then a story-based open world also set in the West Indies. After receiving an official announcement in 2017, it received its first delay, and eventually everything went quiet for many years. Well, in early 2022, we received gameplay info and video at E3, quickly followed by worrying news from former developers. After what looked like a very interesting gameplay trailer, developers who spoke with Kotaku under anonymity said that the game was surprisingly shallow and had blown through an enormous budget. Following these concerns being voiced, Ubisoft delayed it even longer to apparently shore it up. Pardon the pun. Well, after all that, it looks like it's finally launching in early March. And honestly, despite all the worrying press and dev concerns, I couldn't be more excited. I've been waiting for a pirate game for a long time. 20 years ago, we got the Pirates of the Caribbean game on the OG Xbox, and I loved it. But I never appreciated it fully until it was too late. I'm so happy this is finally happening and already planning out my text to my boss saying that I'm too ill and I can't come into work so that I can play all day. The second game number 2, Homeworld 3. One of the first video games I ever played was Age of Empires 2. Since then, I have been in love with the RTS genre. Even on this own channel, playing through the entirety of the Age of Empires 3 campaign. Over the years, I've spent hundreds of dollars and many hours trying to find games that fill that desire like AoE does. Well, around 2016, I found Homeworld 1 and 2 Remaster, and I loved it. The whole space aspect, dealing with X, Y, and Z directions, was so new and unique to me. It was a very difficult aspect to figure out early on, but eventually it became a really fun aspect to the game. Sending units down so they could come up underneath, or sending them above so they come down on top of whatever forces you were fighting, was such a cool and unique aspect that I had never even thought of putting in a game. The other day, I was rewatching the Homeworld 3 trailer, and some of the things I saw, I absolutely love. I had forgotten about them. One of the really cool things that you can do in this is hiding behind debris. They show in the trailer, they send a squad of ships to go attack a a mining vessel or something, and the squad is coming up on the vessel, and the vessel's about to see them, and they go behind this debris field, and the vessel doesn't spot them. Today, something that would be very obvious, but still unique in its own way. Beyond that, I'm so happy that Gearbox Studios is not trying to reinvent this game that so many people love. They're taking everything we like and love about Homeworld and keeping it. And it still looks serious. One of my favorite RTS games is Halo Wars. And when 2 was announced, I was ecstatic. But when it came out, I was incredibly disappointed. The interface didn't look finished, and the game itself, from the units to the environment, just looked childish. The edges were rounded, colors were bright. It honestly looked like they were trying to get children to play instead of the original fans. But Gearbox isn't doing that with Homeworld 3. And that is one of the things that makes me very excited about this game. The third game is Company of Heroes 3. Now, COH 3 is a game that I'm really excited for, but I don't really have a lot to say about it. I'm excited for it because of what it is. It's a World War II game. I'm a very big fan of World War II games. The strategy required for Company of Heroes is something that you don't really get with other RTS games. But it's not as if they're trying to allow you to control every aspect that they could possibly put in. You're not going to have to decide whether or not your soldiers are right or left-handed. That's not how in-depth it's going to go. But you are going to be able to continue doing what was so great about the first two. And at some points, the Men of War games, where you can control loadouts, you can order certain units. You know, you still have to build up resources and wait for things. Objectives must be met. It's not the same as a normal RTS game, but there's still a very cool combination, I should say. The fourth game is Starfield. I don't think there's anything I can say about Starfield that hasn't already been said. Obviously, it's going to have to compete with Skyrim right out of the gate. Being the first new Bethesda IP in years, I don't think it will spend long being compared to Fallout and Elder Scrolls, though, if the game can capture its players early. As is evident with what I said about Homeworld 3, I love space games, and gameplay footage and information we got at E3 2021 gives me high hopes for this game. I'm really excited with the amount of customization and the effort that seems to have gone into it. Now, as long as Tom Howard doesn't also try to get us to buy Skyrim again with it, I'm not really sure if there's anything that will make me not buy this game day one. Finally, something that I did not expect to ever be on a list like this that I made. Hogwarts Legacy. I honestly wasn't excited about this game at all when I first heard about it. I thought, big whoop, who cares? It's going to be crap. I thought it was going to be some Harry Potter game where the super fans that know their houses and cosplay on the weekends would have fun, but the rest of us wouldn't really care. I was wrong. After seeing gameplay footage about a month ago, I'm going to have to take that all back. There's a lot that looks really interesting about this game. I think the best thing is, though, that's set in the 1800s, which I believe, assuming my math is right, no one we've read about or watched in the movies will appear in this game. And I think that is the strongest point for this game. It isn't a Harry Potter game. It's a wizarding game. An open world at that. There are questions I have for this game. Questions that might currently be answered. I'm not sure. I haven't really done a lot of reading into this. Mostly because I don't want to. I want to get this and I want to be surprised about everything. In the same way that I was when I first started reading the books. I'm curious what the threat's going to be. What's the end game for this game? Hogwarts is 7 years. We're creating our own character. Are y'all creating a game that's going to transcend and continue for the next decade? I think that'd be great. I think there's potential for this game to be a huge IP. However, I must say I'm a little wary about that because that was the exact plan for Halo Infinite, and I don't know anyone still playing it. So as long as they do this world justice and allow for a connection to be made, I think this game has a ton of potential, and I'm actually really excited about it. But those are the top 5 games that I'm interested. Please let us know what games you're interested in. Those 5 games all come out within the next 3 to 4 months. I haven't really looked beyond April. If there's something that I didn't mention that you think I should have mentioned, comment, let us know, tweet at us, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell. Thank you very much.